Trace McSorley will get his shot at being a hero. Touchdown, Ravens!
Oh, what a catch!
Proud of the way the guys won the game today, but we've got to get ready to keep going.
The Steelers are 11-0.
To be bluntly honest, man, I'm really disappointed in our performance tonight. We did enough to win, but that's all. It was really junior varsity, to be quite honest with you, and it was in all three phases. We couldn't run the ball effectively when we needed to. We dropped too many significant passes, very catchable, makeable passes. We didn't make significant plays in the special teams game. Our kickoff coverage unit wasn't good enough. We turned the damn ball over. We gave up big plays in critical moments on defense. Can't have it. They converted a long run on a possession down before the half. Unacceptable. They had a 70-yard touchdown late in the game. Unacceptable. It's good to proceed with the victory. I acknowledge that, but not a lot happened tonight to be proud of or to be excited about other than that.
Mike Tomlin not impressed. Guys, I watched that game. Kind of nice to have a game in the afternoon on a random Wednesday, right? Obviously due to COVID, but obviously he's not overly impressed. They do improve to 11-0, but it was against RG3, and it wasn't even RG3 in the game at the end, Max. So would you say this is a good win for the Steelers, or are you just going bad like Mike Tomlin?
No, I'm not going to say it was a good win. It was a great win for the Steelers. The Steelers are undefeated. They're 11-0 now. Week 13, 11-0. Now heading into week 4. Now think about this for a second. Before the game, I told you the Ravens were live in this game because the last time RG3 started for the Ravens against the Steelers, the last time RG3 started a game, period, was against the Steelers. The Steelers had a lot to play for. They were 8-7 coming into the game with no Roethlisberger. They could go 9-7, have a winning season. It's a rivalry game. The Ravens didn't start anybody because they had everything sewn up already. No Lamar Jackson, no Ingram, no nobody. They just sat all their starters. And who won the game? The Ravens not only won, they won 28-10. They won by 3 scores. Beat the Steelers by 3 scores. In this rivalry game, which heading into this season, in this century, is 22-22 out of the 44 times they met, with almost 0-point differential. Everything down the line's basically even. And you already beat the Ravens once. You know they're coming for you, period. And you've had to deal with the delay, and you have to get ready, and then wait and get ready, and wait and get ready, and wait. And after all that, you play a terrible game. Coach is right. All 3 phases of the game, the Steelers were no good. Even that last pass by Roethlisberger, which basically sealed the game with a little over 2 minutes to go, I thought that was a stupid pass. That should have been a pick 6. They should have lost the game on that. But guys, they won. And it's not the kind of win where they go home feeling good about themselves and it papers over all the problems. No, they clearly played poorly. The coach put them on blast. And they still are undefeated. So now they can almost psychologically take that as a defeat. Like, damn, we have a lot to work on, all 3 phases. And they better, because otherwise there'd be a trap game coming up, right? Washington, who's been playing better and better as the season goes on. After the Ravens game, what did Ryan Clark tell us, Stephen A.? Steelers, Ravens, best time to play those guys is after they played each other. That's a dangerous game. But now suddenly it's not a trap game because of this performance. Then they got the Bills. They have later on in the season the Colts, right? The Browns to end the season. The schedule's not easy. This is actually the tough part of their schedule. And one of the games that was tough was this one. They got by it with a win, and they should be invigorated because they should know we have a lot to work on and not sit back and rest on their laurels. I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Well, fair enough, but I thought it was an absolutely atrocious performance. As a diehard, lifelong Steelers fan, I was absolutely, utterly disgusted by what I saw. If you recall, Max Kellerman, we were on the air yesterday, and I said to Ryan Clark, when you look at Big Ben Roethlisberger, as great as he is and as great as he's been playing, he's prone to those mistakes. And you know, against a Kansas City Chiefs squad, which is basically the measuring stick for this season. When you're undefeated, there's only one team that should be standing in your way, and that's the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, led by the greatest quarterback in the game right now with Patrick Mahomes. The bottom line is that you throw that red zone interception. You only 1-4 in the red zone yesterday. You throw that interception to that kid Bowser. You had no business throwing that pass. Like you pointed out, the other one should have been a pick 6 near the end of the game. They actually could have lost that game. You know, RG3, you handled your business against him. I mean, the dude only had 33 yards passing. Plus, he threw a pick 6 to Joe Hayden. This kid McSorley, if you take away the 70-yard lucky pass, the Steelers defense inexplicable. I don't know how the hell you give that up, okay? But you take away that one pass, this dude is 1 for 5 for 7 yards. So he was 2 for 6 for 77 yards. I mean, look, and when you look at it from that perspective, I just say to myself, everything that I'm looking at in regards to the Steelers is whether or not you have a legitimate shot to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs. Then Bud Dupree, that's likely an ACL tear. So you talk about him being gone. He was a top 3 on the team in sacks. You talk about Devin Bush being gone weeks ago. That's a big loss for them as well. So their defense is severely compromised in terms of their ability to get at the quarterback. Because of that, that puts more pressure on the secondary that I thought was suspect to begin with. And then when I think about going up against potentially Kansas City, I'm saying, damn, this does not look good, because now you're compromising your ability to get to a quarterback, which puts more weight in your secondary. And that secondary, I question what they can handle against most teams, even though they've been pretty elite thus far this year. So imagine what I'm thinking about them going up against Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins and McCole Hartman. I'm scared to death. And that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Their offense has to be prolific. Not good, not even great. They've got to be prolific if they are going to have a chance to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs. And what I saw yesterday was such a hideous, horrendous performance by that offense. I'm sitting back here saying, damn. 11-0 means absolutely nothing to me. I am not excited by what I'm seeing from these Steelers right now. It was an inexcusable performance, and I don't blame Mike Tomlin for being disgusted. As a matter of fact, I will call practice today, Max, for them to do nothing but run suicides after that performance. I'm telling you right now, I call them, we put the football down, okay? And I'd sit up there and say goodbye to your wife, your girl, your family, and all of that stuff for the rest of the day. And I'd have them doing nothing but running suicide. I might give them the next day off. I might give them, the next couple of days off. I'd have them brothers running suicides just because they stunk up the joint the way that they did.
Look, I hear what you're saying. You're not wrong about those points, but I think there's a bigger point that you're totally missing. They got the win. Of all the games you circled, they're going to lose. I would have rather they lost. It was the Ravens game. And then with all the delays, it was just weird. And yes, the Ravens were underdogs, but I told you, those two teams, you never can tell. And you couldn't. That game could have gone either way, but they escaped with the win. Now on a short week, they're facing a defense that's played better and better, a team that's played better and better as it goes on. As I brought up, what does RC tell us? Play the Ravens or Steelers the week after they play each other. This is a dangerous game. Short week after a Ravens game, a very losable game, a real trap game. Not anymore. Not anymore. And then if you get by Washington with a win, and before I even get to whether they can beat the Chiefs, I don't think anyone's going to beat the Chiefs. But the best way to do it's actually in a shootout. That gives you your best chance. That's when their record is most mediocre. It's still over 500, but it's not basically unbeaten, right? The Steelers are the one team maybe that could beat the Chiefs without engaging in a shootout. I don't know how prolific their offense has to be against the Chiefs. When they're playing at their best, the Steelers are usually winning 2 of the 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. They'll figure out a way to beat you in 2 of those phases and come out with a win. Maybe they can do that against the Chiefs. But I'm thinking about their undefeated season right now. That's what excites me right now. The Washington game a little less dangerous than it used to be. Otherwise, you tell me 5 days you got to play that team after the Ravens, that might be a loss. Now I think they have a better chance to win. Then on full rest, they get the Bills, they get the Colts, they get the Browns, and you throw the Bengals in there. So divisional games coming up, they should be up for. And obviously the Bills and the Colts, those are tough games, but psychologically, emotionally, you're going to be ready to play. I don't know if they go undefeated this year. The odds are against it, of course. But right now they're undefeated, and they have all the motivation they need.
Well, we don't give a damn about you caring about them during the regular season, Mr. Giants fan, Big Blue. We don't care. I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, you care about the chip. You care about the Super Bowl. That's what the hell you care about. And everything is measured on that. Now, if they were if they were a 500 team or something like that, maybe I'd care about the regular season because it would be about whether or not they'd get to the playoffs. But at 11-0 and knowing they're going to the playoffs, everything is about the chip. Everything is about the Super Bowl. Everything is about being ready to go up against the Patrick Mahomes, the Derrick Henrys of the world, or anybody else in between. That's what this is about. And based on what we saw from the Steelers, there is nothing to be excited about right now. Not with that offense not being able to perform up to snuff the way that they did.
A Mike Tomlin coach team's not thinking that. They're thinking one thing, opponent next week. The opponent next week, Washington, after this performance is a little less dangerous because the Steelers, I expect to be on their A game.
Trust me, Mike Tomlin thinking about the postseason. It's about being ready to go. It's about the chip. He ain't thinking about the regular season as much. He only think about it because he got to, because you got to be prepared for the postseason. He ain't trying to think. It ain't just about the regular season.
Stephen A., you know what I was thinking about when you were talking, coaching, all tough, you'd have them run wind sprints, all that. I was thinking about you in Chicago and that sorry all-star team you coached and how Wilbon spanked you guys.
It was
Babysitting, you
fixed.
some
It
of
was
those
rigged.
techniques.
You know what decision I made?
Oh, my goodness.
That's
you
why
need to redeem yourself this year.
Molly, that's why
Yeah.
I got my knee. That's why I got my knee surgery. The next celebrity game, I will be playing. I'm gonna play.
Hey, okay.
I'm gonna play.
I'll bring
I'm
the
gonna
pom-poms.
bust their
I'll be on
butt.
the sidelines.
Let them
right.
front of football players who think they can ball. Let them come on the court. Basketball is a different ball game. Let's roll.
I'm with it. All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. When we come back, more NBA to get into. AD and LeBron, they're gearing up for multiple championships, but will the rest of the league keep them from running up the chips at Staples? And find out why Bucks fans should be very encouraged